The discovery of North America is a complex historical puzzle, with multiple contenders vying for the title of the first explorer to set foot on the continent. This video explores the fascinating journey of discovery in North America, exploring the accounts of early explorers and the enduring mystery surrounding their claims to have been the first. The Norse explorers. Leif Erikson's legacy, one of the earliest and most well-documented European explorations of North America, predates Christopher Columbus by nearly 500 years. Leif Erikson, a Norseman from Greenland, is often credited with being the first European to set foot on the North American continent around the year 1000 AD. According to sagas and historical accounts, Erikson sailed to a place he called Vinland, located in what is now Newfoundland, Canada. While Erikson's expedition did mark one of the earliest documented European encounters with North America, it's important to note that this Viking exploration did not result in a sustained settlement on the continent. The Lansox Meadows site in Newfoundland, Canada, is a crucial piece of evidence supporting Erikson's journey. This archaeological site, discovered in the 1960s, contains remnants of Norse structures and artifacts. These findings include the remains of several buildings, iron tools, a spindle whorl, and other objects that are indicative of Norse presence. The presence of these artifacts at Lansox Meadows provides strong evidence of at least a temporary Norse settlement in North America. However, it's essential to understand that the Norse presence in Vinland was relatively short-lived and did not result in long-term colonization. Factors such as clashes with indigenous peoples, the challenges of adapting to the North American environment, and the distance from their European homeland likely played a role in the Norse's decision to abandon Vinland after a relatively brief stay. Christopher Columbus and the Age of Exploration. While Leif Erikson's voyage to North America is a remarkable early exploration, it did not have the lasting impact on world history that Christopher Columbus's voyages did. Christopher Columbus sailed under the patronage of Spain and embarked on 4 voyages to the Americas between 1492 and 1504. His first voyage in 1492, which brought him to the Caribbean islands, marked a watershed moment in history. Columbus's encounter with the New World had profound and far-reaching consequences. Columbus's voyages were instrumental in initiating the age of European exploration and colonization of the Americas. His arrival in the Caribbean opened up a new era of transatlantic exchanges, often referred to as the Columbian Exchange, which facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures between the Old World and the New World. This exchange had profound effects on both sides of the Atlantic. The impact of Columbus's voyages on world history can be summarized as follows. Expansion of European influence. Columbus's expeditions laid the groundwork for the Spanish and later European colonization of the Americas. The subsequent arrival of other European powers, such as the English, Portuguese, and Dutch, contributed to the establishment of permanent European settlements and the spread of European culture, languages, and institutions. Cultural exchange. The Columbian Exchange resulted in the exchange of crops, animals, and technologies between the Americas and Europe. This led to significant changes in agriculture, diet, and industry on both continents. The introduction of crops like maize, potatoes, and tomatoes to Europe, for example, had a transformative effect on diets and agricultural practices. Economic impact. Columbus's voyages initiated a period of economic expansion, as the discovery of vast resources in the Americas, including precious metals like gold and silver, fueled European mercantilism and the growth of global trade. Socio-political consequences. The colonization of the Americas resulted in complex interactions between indigenous peoples and European settlers, leading to the rise and fall of empires, the displacement of native populations, and the establishment of new political systems. John Cabot. A claim to North America. Another contender for the title of the first European to discover North America is John Cabot, an Italian explorer sailing under the English flag. In 1497, Cabot is believed to have reached the coast of North America, possibly landing in what is now Newfoundland or Cape Breton Island in Canada. Cabot's journey has historical significance as it marked the first English claim to parts of North America, setting the stage for later English colonization. Amerigo Vespucci and the naming of America. The name America itself is derived from the Latinized version of the first name of Amerigo Vespucci, an Italian explorer who sailed for both Spain and Portugal in the late 15th century. Vespucci's accounts of his voyages to the New World contributed to the understanding of the geography of the Americas. While Vespucci did not discover North America per se, his name was later applied to the entire continent, shaping the way we refer to the lands discovered by Columbus and subsequent explorers. The Native American presence. It is essential to recognize that long before European explorers arrived, North America was inhabited by diverse indigenous peoples who had been living on the continent for thousands of years. These Native American cultures inhabited North America long before the arrival of European explorers had a profound and enduring impact on the land, its ecosystems, and its cultures. Understanding their presence is essential to comprehending the full scope of North American history. Diverse indigenous cultures. North America was home to an astonishing diversity of indigenous cultures, each with its own distinct languages, traditions, belief systems, and ways of life. From the Inuit of the Arctic to the Pueblo people of the American Southwest, and from the Plains tribes like the Lakota to the eastern woodland tribes like the Cherokee, Native American societies spanned a vast range of geographic and ecological settings. These cultures had rich and complex social structures, economies, and governance systems that evolved over millennia. Ancient histories. Native American presence on the continent dates back thousands of years, with archaeological evidence supporting human habitation as far back as 15,000 years ago or even earlier. These indigenous cultures developed a deep connection with the land, shaped by their interactions with the diverse ecosystems of North America. They cultivated crops like maize, beans, and squash, developed sophisticated hunting and gathering techniques, and built complex settlements and ceremonial sites. Stewardship of the land. Native American societies were often characterized by their deep respect for and intimate knowledge of the natural world. They practiced sustainable land management techniques, such as controlled burning to maintain ecosystems and promote biodiversity. These practices helped shape the North American landscape, influencing the distribution of plant and animal species. Interaction and trade. Indigenous peoples engaged in extensive trade networks that crisscrossed the continent long before European contact. These trade networks allowed for the exchange of goods, ideas, and technologies. Items like shells, obsidian, and copper traveled great distances, linking different regions and contributing to cultural exchange. Rich oral traditions. Many indigenous cultures relied on oral traditions to pass down their histories, myths, and knowledge through generations. These oral traditions provided invaluable insights into the beliefs, values, and experiences of Native American societies and continue to be important sources of cultural preservation. European contact. When European explorers like Christopher Columbus, Hernan Cortes, and John Cabot arrived in the Americas, they encountered a vast array of indigenous nations and civilizations. Their interactions between Europeans and indigenous peoples were complex and varied, ranging from cooperation and trade to conflict and colonization. The consequences of European contact had profound and often devastating impacts on Native American populations, including the introduction of new diseases, land dispossession, and cultural disruption. Contemporary indigenous resilience. Despite centuries of challenges, indigenous cultures have persevered and continue to contribute to the rich tapestry of North American society. Today, Native American communities maintain their traditions, languages, and cultures while addressing modern challenges and advocating for the preservation of their ancestral lands and resources. Conclusion. The question of who discovered North America first is a complex and multifaceted one, with various explorers making claims to this historical distinction. Leif Erikson's journey to Vinland, John Cabot's voyage to the Canadian coast, and Christopher Columbus's arrival in the Caribbean all played pivotal roles in the age of exploration and the subsequent European colonization of the Americas. However, it is essential to remember that long before these European explorers, indigenous peoples had thrived on the continent, contributing to its rich tapestry of history and culture. The story of North America's discovery is not merely a tale of European exploration, but a complex narrative that includes the enduring presence and contributions of Native Americans.